What's going on, everybody? It's your main man, Ish, and welcome to this segment of Ish Can Dish. And it's going to be an elite chop session today as I'm joined by former Texas A&M QB and a guy who has one of the nastiest huddle tapes I've ever seen. Please welcome Jackson Oksnee. Jax, appreciate you for coming on today, bro.
I appreciate you, Ish, and excited for the chop. Chop's gonna be elite.
Dude, it's always elite when we're together. And it's been a minute since I've seen you. So, like, what have you been up to? Like, how you been? Like, break it down for me.
So right now I'm hanging out at my home in my hometown, which is San Diego. Originally from San Diego, so I'm back here for the summer, hanging out with the fam for about 2 months, and then I'll go back and start school third week of August. So I'm just out here, honestly, hanging out, working out. I got surgery on my ankle, so I'm recovering from surgery from a previous football injury that kind of cut my career short. But yeah, that's kind of what I've been up to, man.
Dude, that's sweet, man. I mean, I feel like obviously like surgery is always brutal and like I'm wishing you a speedy recovery, but I feel like when you're like spending time with family, like living the simple life, like that keeps you so grounded and like gives you like a better perspective on life. So that's sweet, man. You ready to kind of jump into these questions?
Yeah, let's do it. No, I love what you said about family time keeping you grounded, because I've really enjoyed this summer more than I enjoyed any other summer before, because I was running around with friends, and nothing wrong with catching up with the fellas, of course, but it's always good to spend time with family for sure, and it gives you a different perspective, because those people will always be around. Friends come and go, season for I believe friends are in your life for a season and for a reason. So yeah,
Damn, that's a sweet line right there. I might have to co-op that.
yeah,
Got a nice ring to it.
they're
But
either in your life for a season, a reason, or a lifetime.
yeah, that's good. That's deep. That's
Yeah.
deep. Put that in a t-shirt, man. You might be getting some good sales on that.
All right, I'll think about it.
So I feel like, with every athlete, they always have an origin story. So, like,
Hmm.
how did you first fall in love with football and like what drew you to the quarterback position?
Hmm. So I would just say I fell in love with sports in general. Ever since I can remember. I mean, when I was 4 years old, I was swinging plastic golf clubs, and then I played soccer when I was a kid. I played basketball, baseball. I was kind of like just did every sport I possibly could, doing golf summer camps. I was actually uh I was actually the district champ of a free throw competition when I was 10 years old. So that was I was quite the knockdown free throw shooter.
Yeah, game on the line, man. Put this guy to the
Ba-
line and it's game
Back
over.
in my day, funny, my mom used to play basketball. She used to say it's free. So I used to practice from the free throw line all day, make 100 a day when I was a kid. So
Damn.
basketball was honestly my first love, but I started playing flag when I was in fifth grade. So I didn't actually play any football tackle wise. My mom was afraid of head injuries. Funny enough, I ended up with five. Um, and so she didn't prevent the head injuries. It ended up happening later on, but so I played flag from fifth grade to eighth grade, and then eighth grade I played flag along with tackle football at this private school I went to. We put together a team of, I think it was like 25 guys, and if you think about it, 11 on offense, 11 on defense. I was going both ways. I was the kicker, the punter, middle linebacker, and quarterback.
Oh my
So I was
God.
the I was the leader of every single group, offense, defense, special teams. I was the pretty much the play caller
Dude,
for
you're the
for all
Swiss
that.
Army knife, man. You literally did it all.
Yeah, so when that happened, I had a head coach who, well, he was the head coach of the high school, because I went to a K through 12 private Christian school, and he approached me with the idea of being the quarterback of the team, because he said he saw a lot of leadership qualities in me, and he thought that the quarterback position would fit me really well, and that I would be really successful as a quarterback. So it wasn't even my idea. I played receiver in flag football, so I was a receiver, and then switched to quarterback and started training with the coach, and then yeah, and then just went from there. So
Damn, bro, that's awesome. Like that's crazy how like, one like person can just totally change like the trajectory of your career. Like who knows if
Oh,
like you
100%.
never had that coach, you would have never became like the elite quarterback you are today. So that's pretty
No,
awesome to hear, man. That kind of is like a perfect segue into my next question. And like obviously in high school you were elite. I've seen the footage. You were nice. So
appreciate
I
it.
gotta ask you, man, like could you walk us like through the recruiting process and how did you ultimately decide on Texas A&M?
So the recruiting process was interesting for me, because, well, I didn't start as a freshman on varsity. I mean, not a lot of kids do. I mean, you have to be elite of elite to be
Of
starting
course.
quarterback your freshman year. So I played freshman football, which I think was great for me. And then played sophomore year. I played started on JV, and then they pulled me up to varsity halfway through the season, and I led our team to. We should have made the finals. Our kicker missed a 24-yard field goal, but to go into the championship. But so my recruiting process honestly started my junior year when I was the full-time starter. So I started my junior year, had some good tape, and my quarterback coach, who I used to have private sessions with, he's very well connected with a lot of coaches on the D1 level. So honestly, he sent out my tape to a couple coaches, and a couple coaches got back to him. So originally, it was Yale. I was talking to the coaches at Yale, Dartmouth, Davidson, which is where Steph
Go
Curry
shout
went.
out Steph.
Yeah, shout out Steph. And then William and Mary, which ended up being my first offer. It's a small school in Virginia.
Yeah.
Uh, Thomas Jefferson went there, actually. Shout
No
out to Thomas
way. Fun
Jefferson.
fact.
Yeah,
Tommy
so fun
J.
fact. And then William and Mary, the last school was Wyoming. So
Well,
those were the
that's where
schools I
Josh
was kind of.
Allen went, right?
Yeah, Josh Allen went to Wyoming.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he had just left there. So I mean, their program was on the come up, for sure. So my senior year, I ended up, well, COVID hit. So
Yeah.
COVID hit my senior year, which was super unfortunate, and it just messed up the whole recruiting process. So I ended up, so I had one offer. I had one full ride offer to the University of William and Mary in Virginia, and I was still talking to Davidson and Wyoming. I kind of stopped talking to the Ivy Leagues. I mean, I'm a smart kid, but Ivy Leagues don't offer full ride scholarships.
Yeah, that's right.
So, and honestly, I kind of wanted to go to a college where I could experience all aspects of college life and not have to be tied down to the books all the time. I wanted a versatile like experience
Of
where I
course.
could experience different things. So, um, long story short, one of the coaches at Texas A&M ended up coming to one of my throwing sessions during COVID, and he was legally allowed to come because his son was training with my quarterback coach. Because my quarterback coach trains like from I think 10 until like through college. He doesn't have any NFL guys yet, but he's got a bunch of studs in college right now. But yeah, so he ended up seeing one of my throwing sessions and approaching me about a preferred walk-on at Texas A&M. And I looked into A&M and thought it would be a great fit for me. I mean, I love the Texas culture, and I've been there when I was a kid, and I like the vibe. And I wanted to get out of California because it was just a bunch of crazy stuff going on. So yeah.
100%. Dude, that's awesome, bro. Like, and it's pretty crazy how just intricate like the whole recruiting process is because like there's so many different factors that you go into it. And I love how
Yeah.
you just didn't really solely focus on the football part. You were like, man, I really want to have like a nice social experience. And I feel like
Yes.
when COVID hit, like that really put everything into perspective because like I'm a pretty social guy. And like when I had to be locked in my room because of COVID and everything, it like made me like realize like how precious those moments are with like your good friends and your family. And so that's super cool that like you kind of had that whole experience and ultimately led you to Texas A&M, which is obviously an elite football school and definitely has a great social scene. So did you visit the campus? Was there like did you visit it and you were like, yeah, like I could see myself here?
Was May of 2021, and I visited the campus with one of my buddies, Malik Murphy, and he was a 5-star coming out of high school, Sarah Gardena
Damn.
High School, part of the Elite 11. I mean, he was elite. He still is elite. He's actually at Duke right now. fighting for the starting job. But we were visiting. I was visiting A&M, but he tagged along, and he was already committed to UT, or TU. I have to call him because Orange Town.
Yeah,
We're
there
not
you
Longhorn
go. There
fans
you go.
because Texas A&M. We're the University of Texas.
There you go.
Just had to throw
Talk your
that in
talk,
there.
baby. I love it.
Had to throw that in there. Not a Longhorn guy at all. So, but anyways, so I got to visit in May, and the campus is beautiful. It's the biggest campus. I don't know if you knew this, but Texas A&M has the biggest campus in the country,
Really?
square footage wise. And yeah, the actual campus is the biggest. It's the largest
Damn.
campus in uh in in the country. I think Michigan's too. Don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure Michigan's too.
Ann
So
Arbor's pretty big. I'm not gonna lie.
yeah,
Yeah. Damn, bro. So that's super cool. Like, I did not know it was the biggest campus in the United States. Cause like there's so many like, because obviously like in the SEC, there's so many big schools, you know what I mean?
yeah,
And like obviously I've never really been down to those schools because like I went to a Big Ten school, go Badgers, even though we've been just trash in football for the last 4 years, but we don't gotta
yeah.
talk about that.
That's all right. That's all right.
Um,
Y'all have some good history though.
yeah, that's true. That's true. I mean, I came the year after Jonathan Taylor left. So
Mm,
I like missed out on that like whole experience, which
yeah,
is brutal. But like on like I said, like on social media, like all those SEC schools look huge. You know what I mean? So that's super cool that like I mean, yeah, that you just like went there, biggest campus, like obviously have that rivalry with like Texas and you're still riding with it. So that's super dope, man.
yeah.
Yeah, so I guess that kind of brings me to my next point. You kind of briefly mentioned it, but like all these D1 athletes, like what people don't understand is that these guys are like the elite of the elite. So in high school, they were like the franchise guy. You know what I mean? Like you were that
Yeah.
guy in high school. So my next question is like, what were like the biggest challenges and surprises like transitioning from like high school football to playing at the collegiate level?
So honestly, for me, it was the time commitment. I didn't know what it looked like. I knew it was going to be a heavy workload, but I didn't know that we would have so many meetings, team meetings, position meetings. So it was a lot, in a good way, but also it was um, I had to really learn how to time manage for the first time in my life. Uh, whether it was, keeping my room clean, keeping staying up on laundry, staying up to date on my homework. Like it was just making sure that I was getting the most out of every day, and being smart with my time. Because when you're in high school, mom's doing a lot for you. I mean, for
100%.
me, I was blessed with a mom who did a lot for me. And when I got to college, dude, it was just like, man, I gotta stay on top of my laundry. I gotta, when I eat, dishes gotta be washed. I mean, there's just little things that you kind of learn when you get to college, but it made it that much more difficult that I was pretty much spending, let's say I had workouts freshman year at 5:30 in the morning. So
Damn.
we'd have workouts at 5:30. I'd have a little bit of time to go home, but then I'd be right back to campus for class. Classes were from 8 to 12. They didn't want us to have anything past 12 because we could have meetings at 1. So we had
Yeah,
team meetings
totally.
at 1 that would go all the way until practice time that starts at 3:30. Practice starts, yeah, 3:34, goes about until 7, 7:30. So it was pretty much a 5 to 8. I mean, it was, let's quick math here, 7. I mean, that's a lot of time in my day that I
Yeah.
was I was spending about 15 hours a day at the
Damn.
facility or just
That's
on
crazy.
campus. So
Yeah, because like, dude, I feel like what a lot of people don't understand is like being a D1 athlete or just any collegiate athlete, like it's a full-time job. Like
yeah,
it's literally like a 9 to 5, and you like have to live and breathe like the game you play. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah. So it's tough to have time to do other things, but like I said, you just have to figure out how to time manage as best you can. And for me, that I started using iCalendar because when
Yeah.
I was in high school, I didn't have a calendar, but I started inputting things in the calendar so I could just kind of like structure, like have a structured day per se. So I mean, it taught me a lot though. I mean, I'm so grateful for my experience just because it taught me things outside of football that I wouldn't have learned otherwise. That
Yeah,
makes sense.
totally, man. 100%. And like that's kind of like the beauty of like whether you're like an athlete or you have like some sort of passion you're doing on the side, like it really allows you to like just hone in on your craft, but also develop like organizational and time management skills. You know what I
No,
mean? And
for
that's gonna be
sure.
so valuable when you enter the workforce because like you'll be able to, because you obviously like are a hard worker and you embody grit and you'll be able to like apply those skills to whatever job you're doing. So that's honestly awesome. And it's yeah, but having those skills are just gonna take you so far in life.
Yeah, yeah, no, I agree with everything you said for sure.
Yeah, totally. So my next question is like honestly with like just your like experience like working under the coaching staff. Because obviously when you first got there, I believe Jimbo Fisher just signed that massive like 10-year,
10 year,
$95 million contract extension.
yeah, it was 10 years, it was 10 million a year, so it was 100 mil over
Yeah,
10 years.
crazy. And like, but last season he was let go, and now he's just chilling at the couch, collecting that paycheck, which is pretty good job if you ask me.
No,
So,
for sure.
like, what was your experience like playing for him, and how did his coaching style differ from the coaches you've previously had in your life?
Um, so my freshman year, I was in the quarterback room with him. And he was a really personable guy. He really family oriented guy, which I respected a lot. He talked about his family a lot, his son a lot, and he I'm trying to think how he was really different from my high school coach. I mean, I had a pretty stern high school coach who almost expected perfection. I mean, he didn't say that,
Yeah,
but it almost seemed like that. And he was honestly similar to my high school coach in that aspect. Like he would kind of preach, we're not going to always be perfect, but he would almost expect perfection. So I mean, he was a strict coach, who just knew that like every little thing that we did in our lives impacted the our play on the field. I mean, what we do off the field transitions to on the field. I mean, he really preached a lot on that, and just having your priorities in check. Keep the main thing was
yeah,
always what he preached. That was his stitch. And now looking back, honestly, when I was first there, I wish I would have done a little more of that because I kind of got sucked into the party life, and the fun parts of college a little bit more than I would have liked to. But I think that happens to everyone. We all have to kind of go through that and learn from that. So I like that line though, and I try and keep that in mind now, just in my everyday life. Keep the main thing, whatever the main thing is at that point in your life. Just pretty much just keeping your priorities in check.
yeah.
So
I mean, I couldn't have said it better myself. Because I feel like, Jimbo at Florida State, he was a national champion. So he has that pedigree and he knows what it takes to like win at the highest level. And I feel like, with him, just kind of keeping like just being meticulous in your preparation. I feel like that's
yeah,
what all great athletes. Kobe was really big on that. And
yep,
one of the greatest of all time. So, I mean, that's great that like you guys were like on the same page. It was kind of like a seamless transition because your high school coach had a similar mindset. But at the same time, like you like look back and you were kind of just like cognizant of like what you could have done better, which is like a really big sign of like maturity and growth. Like obviously, like if you go back in time, like you of course you want to like switch certain things. Like, man, I shouldn't have partied this much or I shouldn't have done this. But I mean, the thing is like you could just learn about it now and just not do it in the future and just like keep the main thing the main thing. So
yeah. And on that note, I think college. I think that's what college is about. Honestly,
absolutely.
I mean, obviously, it's about, educating yourself. And let's say you go to school to become a nurse, you got to be locked in, right?
100%.
because the schooling, I mean, for me, I'm getting my undergrad in communications, minor in sport management, and I'm not afraid to admit that the undergrad that I'm getting is a lot easier than, someone who's going to nursing school,
Totally.
100%. But I think, put the schoolwork aside. I think the most important thing that people get out of college is the experience and learning what works for you and what doesn't.
Yeah,
Uh, I think
absolutely.
I think that's really what you learn is because when you're in high school, like I said, you got your parents helping out. You have family around. I mean, I was fortunate enough to have pretty much my whole family around me.
Yeah, you got a lot of safety
Uh,
nets when you're in high school.
yeah, for sure. And then you're on your own. And I was in, a completely different state, halfway across the country away from my family. So I mean, it was definitely kind of a reality check. And yeah. So I mean, you definitely learn, like I said, what works for you and what doesn't. So
Yeah, totally. That's a great authentic take on that. And whether you're an athlete or not, I feel like a lot of college kids can agree with that because, like, when you go off to school, it is kind of like a test run for adult life. Obviously, you don't have as much responsibilities as like a recent grad or whatnot, but it really is like a test run. Like, you're living on your own. You got to figure out what works for you and what doesn't work for you so that you can make a living. But at the same time,
100%.
you're obviously having a lot of fun along the way, making a lot of great memories. And also just creating lifelong friends. I feel like that's what I did at college. Like all those guys that I graduated with, like I hope to see all of them at my wedding. So they're like a great group of guys. But yeah, I mean, you said it perfectly. It's just college is kind of just like a great test run to kind of just see the type of person you want to be for like the next like maybe until you die. You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
it's pretty wild how like when you break it down in that setting, just shows you how important college is to your personal and professional growth.
100%.
Yeah, so that kind of transitions to my next question. I kind of briefly mentioned this, but like being a D1 football player in the SEC, like that puts you in elite company, and because that conference is like constantly put in the spotlight. The going out scene, the Greek life scene is crazy, and let's be real, that NIL bread is straight up different.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
what was your like most memorable experience as an athlete? And this could be on or off the field.
That's a great question. Immediately, 2021, um, Alabama game at home, 6 p.m. ESPN. No, sorry, CBS. Uh, we had the main TV slot for that game. And I'm sure you remember the outcome of that game. We were 4-3. We started off the season 4-0. We had
Yeah.
some really close games. Our starting quarterback got hurt the week 2 against Colorado. He like threw out his shoulder. So we were riding with our backup quarterback, who's now still one of my good buddies, Zach Calzada, and he's got an arm on him. So he was talented, and we all backed him and knew that, we would be successful with him at the helm. So I mean, we were 4-3 going into that game. Started off the season 4-0, lost 3 straight going into Bama. So we started off the season 6th in the country.
Yeah.
We were 6th in the country that year in 21. And yeah, we lost 3 in a row going into Bama. Bama's ranked 1 in the country, undefeated. Bryce is legit, the man, the
Yeah.
dude. Everyone knows he's been the dude since high school. I trained with Bryce when I was in middle school, actually.
No way. Because he
I,
went to
I
modern day, right?
Bryce went to Mater Dei, and I used to train with Bryce in Huntington Beach,
Damn.
uh, with 3D QB. Shout out 3D QB and Taylor Kelly, and Zach Dato. But yeah, so we went into the game, ready to. I mean, we had nothing to lose.
Yeah, of course.
And I was playing receiver on the scout team,
Oh,
and
shoot.
we had a great practice week. I mean, I remember we were cooking the defense, to say the to.
Let's go.
I mean, yeah, we were cooking, but people don't realize how important the scout team is to the team and getting the defense ready, because the look that you give the defense is gonna affect how they see, the Alabama plays run in real time during the game.
Yeah.
So we're running all the routes full speed. We're cooking, had a great practice week. So defense, if you would have asked our defensive coordinator that year, Mike Elko, funny enough, he's now our head coach.
Yeah.
But anyways, so if you would have asked Mike Elko, Coach Elko, he probably would have said probably worst defensive practice week of the year.
Yeah.
But we got them ready. So we got them ready. Our defense balled out that year, and just that feeling. I didn't even watch the kick. I didn't watch the field goal, and
Yeah.
I had my back turned. I just saw the crowd
No way.
jump down from the stands, and just like it was insane, dude. I mean, it
Yeah.
was a night I'll never forget. And a night I don't really honestly remember too much after the game, if you know what I mean. But it was a great time, dude. I mean, I made memories that night that I'll never forget. And my family was there. I have a picture. I jumped into the crowd. I ran straight over to my mom and dad and hugged my dad, and just remember just like that feeling was just electric.
Yeah, that's like something out of like a Disney movie. You know
Oh,
what I
dude,
mean? And you
100%.
literally got to live it, man. You were living the script.
Yeah, I was a character. I was a character in a movie. I that's what I told everyone. I
100%.
felt like, and honestly too, I didn't step foot on the field that game,
Yeah.
but being a part of the team was just such a cool experience. I mean, people asking for pictures, moms kissing me on the cheek. I mean, it was a crazy time, but it was so cool, man. It was awesome.
Yeah, that's unreal because that was your freshman year, right?
That was my freshman year. Yeah.
First season, like that's when you knew, like, I feel like that moment right there is like, yeah, I'm so glad I chose Texas A&M. Like
Oh,
right there.
100%. I knew that game alone, my mom even shared with me too. She said once that happened, like she could have never went to another Texas A&M football game, and she would have been complete,
Yeah, because you peaked. Like you don't want to like, you know what I mean? Like I get what she's saying. Cause like if I went to a game that great, I'm like, I don't want to like mess up my other experiences. Like the bar set too high.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. Pretty great night.
That's crazy, man. Yeah, you could even look at the kick, like stomach was probably churning, just look in the
No,
crowd. And as soon as they react, you're like, oh, well, I'm not going to bed tonight. Like I'm just gonna stay out with my boys. It's gonna be wild.
and it's so weird how I had a weird feeling personally before the game, a good feeling, like a gut
Yeah,
feeling that somehow we're gonna pull this game out. I didn't
let's
know why,
go.
but dude, growing up, being a Bama hater, like everyone is,
100%.
unless you're with the Crimson Tide, you're against the Crimson Tide. Like, dude, so
Yeah,
growing up as a kid, I remember every time Bama was won, anytime they played any game, I wanted them to lose. My eyes are, I mean, I'm locked in, whether they're playing Appalachian State or Kentucky, like I'm the biggest Kentucky or Appalachian State fan that week. Like I hated Bama. So going into that game, I was like, one, this is cool that I'm gonna get to experience being on the team while we're playing Bama, and they're ranked one in the country,
yeah.
6 o'clock slot, CBS, you know.
Gus Johnson on the mic, like
Dude, I mean, it was yeah, it was just like a fairy tale ending. So
that's crazy, man. Yeah, because I mean, obviously, yeah, because like 2021, that was my sophomore year. But I remember that was like a nationally televised game.
oh
And
yeah.
like I remember watching it as a fan. Like me and my boys were like at the bar and like we saw the game was close. Cause like honestly, cause like you said, like you guys were on like a little bit of a losing skid. I'm like, Bama's hot right now. Bryce Young is like one of the best dual quarterbacks I think I've ever seen in my life in
Yeah.
college. You know what I mean? He was no Lamar Jackson, but like he was cold. And I'm like,
Oh yeah,
he's
no.
gonna dissect that defense.
Yeah.
And I remember just watching the game. I see the kick. I'm like, oh man, that's gonna look good. And it goes in. And my friends and I were like, oh my God, like to be a student at Texas A&M right now would be absolute bliss.
Yeah, dude, it was madness, bro. It was
That's
madness.
sick, man. Wow. Honestly, tough to transition from that, but like I feel like, as an athlete and like you're also like a health and wellness advocate, like how important was like when you were on the team and stuff, like how important was like nutrition in your daily regimen and how do you still apply that to your everyday life?
Yeah, so we had a nutritionist, and shout out to Tiff. She was our nutritionist. And I learned a ton from her. And I was just a sponge. Anytime she would be there after workout. So I mean, dude, I was so blessed. Like so we'd have morning workouts. They would have pre-workout snacks for us, ready to go. Whether it was a banana, I usually used to eat a banana before workouts, or like a little like a Nutri-Grain bar or some fruit. Um, she would just always have us dialed in pre-workout, and then after workout we'd have shakes. She could make us our own custom shakes, throw some creatine in there. Um, whatever we wanted, honestly, we had access to. She was a big advocate on cherry juice, which I've gotten away from and I need to get back
Yeah,
to
isn't that
drinking
like good like way to like prevent like muscle aches or something like that?
it's a natural anti-inflammatory.
Yes, that's what it
Um,
was. Yeah.
and dude, cherry juice is it's really tough. It's really tart and sour when you first drink it, but once you get used to drinking it, I mean, obviously it has ton of antioxidants like most
Yeah.
fruit does. And yeah, so cherry juice after workouts. She got me on fish oil, fatty acids, because
I gotta have those omega 3s, baby.
you can't get fatty acids from a lot of foods. You can get it from like sardines, salmon, like particular like certain types of fish, but it's really hard. There's one more thing that I'm forgetting. But anyways, it's tough to get those in. So honestly, I think it started it sparked an interest in me in health and wellness, because I hadn't eaten good ever in my entire life. Like,
Yeah,
I mean, so I wasn't a horrible eater, but at the same time, I didn't look at food as fuel.
totally.
But now I 100% do. And like I heard someone tell me one time, you either eat to live or you live to eat.
Yeah.
So I eat to live. I don't
Yeah.
live to eat. But some people at heart, they're foodies.
Yeah.
And when I say foodies, I mean like they look at a cheeseburger and their mouth starts to water, right? I wasn't
Yeah.
ever that guy. I saw food as fuel. Um, and don't get me wrong, I love something that tastes good, but at the
Yeah.
same time, me and my dad both, we said if they ever came out with a pill that you could take first thing in the morning and it would satiate your stomach for the entire day, give you the macros that you need for, let's say, whatever weight goal you want, whatever exercise habits you're kind of going through, I would take it
Yeah.
and just not eat at all,
Yeah.
because that's how much I look at food as fuel. And now I'm a no dairy, no added sugar, no fried food. Those are like three main things that I stay away from. Um,
Damn.
that's kind of what
That's crazy, man, how disciplined you are. So then like I gotta ask then, like avocado ice cream, yay or nay?
avocado ice cream. I
Because
haven't heard
that's
about
like Tom Brady. That was like his go-to like
that.
dessert.
Okay. So
Yeah.
so the way that he makes it, go for sure. That's a go. That's a go all
Okay.
day.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, because I'm assuming he doesn't drink milk, so I'm assuming it's almond milk, because
Yeah.
I used to take his protein powder. So
Oh, no way.
um
Okay.
it's all plant-based. So he's a plant-based
Yeah.
all the way. So at least for his protein powder, I know he eats some chicken um and some lean meats, but yeah, avocado ice cream all the way. If you make it like Tom Brady does, all the way. But
Totally.
yeah,
Totally. Yeah, no, that's fair enough. I just had to ask, but like, yeah, I mean, I feel like that's another reason why you were able to become like a D1 athlete is because you were so disciplined at a young age and your father like instilled that in you. So that's probably one of the reasons why like you've been able to achieve so much success like on the field. And like just kind of like as like a little bit of a segue, like the one guy, like it's funny that you bring that all that up because like obviously like what LeBron is doing in year 22 at the age of 39 when he's literally gonna be 40 this year is like absolutely mind-boggling. And obviously, like he's a genetic anomaly, but like when he retires, I really hope he like drops his like food routine, his like recovery routine, like his weightlifting routine. I hope he drops everything because he's the best athlete to ever step on the hardwood.
So do you think he hasn't dropped it yet because he doesn't want the secret sauce to come out?
That's what I'm thinking.
I was thinking that you were thinking that. I was thinking that too, but
Yeah.
it's either he doesn't want to allocate time to doing that, like to sharing. I mean, because right now at 39, he wants to win a ring. I mean, he signed a 2-year deal,
Yeah.
super max, and
Yeah.
my theory, this is the last year that he's going to potentially try and average 37-7 like he has
Yeah.
entire career, because I think this is the last year that he's just going to go all out, trying to win
100%.
a ring. If they don't win this year or this upcoming season, the following year is
Farewell
his
tour.
farewell tour.
Absolutely. Because like
So
obviously with Bronny on the team now, like he's like playing for something. You know what I mean? Like not only does he want to be like the first father-son duo on the court, he wants to be like the first father-son team on the same team winning a ring. You know what I
yeah,
mean? Like because in his eyes, like LeBron like loves the storylines and all that. So like that would break the internet. Like him and Bronny, like Bron holding up the Finals MVP trophy, Bronny holding up the Larry OB, like that would like send
yeah,
the internet in shambles. Like Cash Nasty would literally like be going wild, you know?
yeah. Cash Nasty, yeah, he is a bronze sexual, as they call
Yeah,
him.
to the max. But I totally agree with you. Like, I honestly don't think the Lakers are getting a ring this year just because they didn't do enough in free agency and they're still
Dude,
super old. But I think next year is going to be like his farewell tour. And man, that's gonna be an emotional year. Because I grew up in Chicago. So when Derrick Rose won the MVP, I was 9 years old. And that was like such a core memory for me as a kid. And that like made me fall in love with sports, like especially basketball. So I grew up hating LeBron because he was like killing us. It was when he first joined the Heat, him, D Wade, Bosh, like they had the Bulls number. And you know what I mean? And like Joakim Noah and Jimmy Butler like had that beef with the Heat. And it was just an unbelievable storyline. Like I miss that Bulls team. But like as time has gone on, like now I actually really like LeBron. And like it's crazy because the only basketball and I only know basketball with him in it. I don't know the NBA without him in it. Like this dude has
yeah,
been dominating the league since we've been in diapers. And now he's gonna retire soon. And dude, I wouldn't be surprised if I shed a tear.
dominating the league since we've been in diapers is crazy. And but I agree with you that I might shed a tear too, honestly, just because, yeah, I've watched him since I was a kid, and I've been a Bron fan his entire career, just because I appreciate him as an athlete and the freak
100%.
athlete that he is, and his and his ability to sustain greatness throughout his career and not really falter at all is
Yeah, the
just,
longevity is unmatched.
it's unmatched. It's unmatched. And and I think he's the GOAT.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, I'm a Jordan guy, so I'm always gonna ride with Jordan. But
Okay.
I mean,
Yeah, we don't need
LeBron
to get into
LeBron has
that.
solidified himself as the number two of all time.
We could do a whole
Yeah, we can do a
top
whole. Yeah, we'll save
two
that
and a
for the next
half.
pod.
We could do a 2.5 hour show on Bron
Literally.
versus MJ, but yeah. So
Yeah, that's awesome, man. And obviously I'm gonna change gears a little bit, but it kind of relates to what we've been talking about throughout the whole episode. I feel like mental health is crucial for athletes, just staying locked in and whatnot. So while you were on the team, like how did you maintain your mental well-being like during the season?
Um, I would say honestly leaning on family, leaning on constant communication with my family. I have a twin sister. We're really close. So talking with her every day, just kind of sharing maybe something that I was struggling with that day, and kind of getting her 2 cents on it. Talking to my parents every day. Just kind of like, yeah, just staying in constant communication with family, I think was really important for me. And I would say also having good relationships with guys in the team, um, and being able to have those, um, below the surface, uh, per se, conversations with guys that are going through the same thing that you're going through, right? Going through the same daily. I mean, fall camp my freshman year was like, I don't know if you know anything about fall camp, but it's, dude, you're there from 7 a.m. until 11 at night.
Yeah, it's literally boot camp.
It's literally football boot camp. So I mean, you get close to the guys, and yeah, I think that was really important, is finding a group of core guys on the team that you can just share things with, and have good conversation with. That's
Totally.
not just surface level conversation. I mean, for me, I haven't ever really been a surface level guy.
Yeah,
I feel like all of the friends that I have, we have those deep talks, because I think it's really important, especially as men. Just sharing your feelings can be tough, but I think it's really beneficial to have those conversations.
absolutely. I feel like, when I think of like my closest friends, I just think they're people that I could talk to about anything, and that
Yeah.
that will be with me when like life's going good and or whether life's going bad. Like those are people I can always rely on and have deep conversations with, and I feel like that facilitates a stronger bond. And obviously having the camaraderie on the team, that definitely plays into that. But like at the same time, like you mentioned, like your close relationship with your parents, your sister, and I feel like that really keeps you grounded
Hmm.
and helps you develop like a better perspective. So I feel like when you got good friends and good family, I mean that's an unstoppable combination that will always keep your mental well-being at a high level.
Yeah.
So,
100%.
yeah, totally. So, I mean, we've obviously talked about like your love of football and fitness, but what are like your other like passions and hobbies in life, and would you want to like pursue them as a career?
So, passions and hobbies. I mean, I love playing golf on the side.
I'm with
I've
you on that.
I played high school golf my freshman year, and then high school football coach kind of told me that he wanted me to stick to football and
Yeah,
focus on that. And I respect that, and I agreed with him that it was important to focus on keep the main thing. But um yeah, so golf, love to play golf. I'm a nasty ping pong player,
okay.
so love to play a little table tennis.
Had to bring out the government name for that.
Yeah, I mean, dude, the Olympics are coming up, man.
Yeah,
You can't refer to it as ping pong.
yeah, there you go.
I'm not sure any of our guys are gonna do well in the table tennis, but
Nah, basketball though, I think we got the gold, but
oh, dude, we're the Avengers. We
yeah,
assembled
we're the Avengers.
we assembled the Avengers. That's all I'll say on that.
Yeah,
We there's no way we lose. We won't
I
lose.
agree.
Um, and honestly, dude, I've just been a sports guy all the way through and through. And so all the hobbies that I pretty much still participate in are sports oriented. I'm about to start an internship this fall with a sports media company.
Let's go.
So it's a local sports media company. It's called Texags. So they sell it's like a subscription based newsletter, and they also do podcasts, and they have a radio show. The radio show is free, but the extra exclusive content you have to pay for. It's a subscription based deal. So I'm gonna start working for them in the
Let's
fall, and
go.
that'll go all the way through the fall semester. So I'm taking 4 classes this semester, and I'll be doing the internship. So I'm gonna get my feet wet with the sports media world, and see if it's something that's up my alley. I'm also thinking about potentially investing in some real estate in Bryan College Station,
Let's go.
as ever since I've moved to College Station, they actually just approved, we're going from 80,000 to 90,000 students.
Wow.
Um, so actually don't quote me on that. It might be 70 to 80, 80 to 90. I'm not sure,
Either
but
way, it's a lot. It's a
either
lot.
way, we're expanding, the amount of students that they're bringing in. So the Bryan College Station area is just exponentially growing, and so yeah, I'm thinking about maybe doing that. I got a bunch of ideas, so yeah, I'm not set on anything career wise, but I am a follower of of Christ, and I believe that if I keep the main thing and stay grounded, that I will I will have, things revealed to me that lead me to my career and what I want to do for the rest of my life. So
That's awesome, man. Yeah, I mean, those are two strong pillars right there that kind of lead to the foundation of success. And that's awesome that you're kind of like diving into all your different interests, whether it's like sports and real estate. Cause I feel like when you're in your 20s, like this is the time to try out so many different things to see what you like and see
100%.
what you're good at.
Yeah, 100%. And that's something my dad's preached to me too, is just learn, just be a sponge, just try new things,
Exactly. That's exactly what I say.
dude, just be a sponge. Like there's there's so much out there for the taking, and truly we're in a society now that the opportunities are endless, because not a lot
Totally.
of people are wanting to work, not a lot of people are willing to do, get their hands dirty and put their head down and get to work. So I mean, I think I could tell you're someone who's ambitious and has
Appreciate it. Likewise.
you know a, a um a great work ethic, and I think both of us will do great in life just because we want it, you know?
Yeah,
If you
definitely.
want
I
it,
feel
you'll do the
like,
work.
yeah,
So,
you just got to do the work, roll your hands up, and yeah, just get after it. I feel like also like you just got to stick with the process, be willing to go through the ups and downs, and you got to battle adversity. And the grass is always greener on the other side. But yeah, you just got to keep your head down and keep on grinding, and it's all going to work out. So,
progress, not perfection.
exactly, yeah, yeah. So
Another Jimbo quote there.
yeah, shout out Jimbo Fisher. He's probably on the couch right now, just maybe he's probably at the golf course right now, working on his swing and just collecting that check. So.
Yeah. Well, I'm not sure what he's doing.
Who knows what he's doing? Yeah, I don't got the tracker on him, and thank God for that. But um, I feel like throughout this pod we've just been, or you just been kind of dropping wisdom left and right. So, like, what advice would you give to like the next generation of high school athletes going through the recruiting process right now?
I would say if you want to play, then go play. Don't there's so much there's no stability right now in college sports,
Yeah,
especially football. Whether you're a 5-star recruit or a 2-star recruit or a no-star recruit, college teams, programs want players that have played. So if you want to play, go play. Like, I think a lot of kids are misled into thinking that I'm a 5-star recruit coming out of high school. I'm committed to Georgia. I'm gonna be the starter year one. No, because there could be a guy coming from LSU with 3 years of college experience,
yeah,
not college tape. He's got experience playing college ball. I
yeah,
mean, college ball is completely different than high school ball. It's
totally.
it's not the elite of the elite, because that's the NFL, but it's the elite.
Yeah, it's the top 1%, maybe even less.
Yeah. So I
Like,
mean, go play. Go play. I mean, I think that's what I would preach to people is, go somewhere. For me, I didn't go to Texas A&M as a preferred walk-on obviously the dream for everyone is to make it to the NFL, but
mhm.
honestly, for me, that wasn't ever something that I even really considered or thought about at all. I was more there for the experience and just doing something where I would learn a bunch of different disciplines, and I would learn how to be disciplined. So yeah, go play. if you got offers to TCU and Georgia and Georgia Tech, but then, you know, let's say you got a Tulane. I mean, I think go play in the Big Sky, get some tape, you know, and then you transfer. You come in with college tape, you do well, and I think that's what colleges are they're looking at with the portal now, dude. They look at portal
Totally.
guys before they're looking at high school guys,
Yeah,
because the portal guys know what it takes to be a college athlete. They've gone
exactly.
through the season of college sports, college football. So, and with NIL too,
Yeah,
it's all, there's no stability, even for
zero.
coaching. Um, you know, so if you're good, you'll get on the field, you know, and don't be afraid to compete. A lot of guys want to go somewhere where the situation in there is cush, and they feel like they're just going to fall into the one spot. That's not going to happen.
No.
Not going to happen. Maybe 10 years ago, you could set that up and kind of, but either way, if you're afraid to compete, then I feel like you lack confidence.
Yeah. And like, how do you expect it to make it to the next level if you won't even like want the smoke now?
Yeah, you gotta compete, man. You have to compete. You have to
Yeah.
want to
I
compete.
mean, that was straight facts, man. Like everything you said was so true. And I like interned at an agency. I interned at Vayner Sports last semester. So I know how the NIL space works. And it's crazy, man. It's literally free agency. And I
Oh
feel like
yeah.
in order to get a better offer, like you said, like you got to have tape. That's how you're like sell yourself. So yeah,
Hmm.
you just got to put yourself out in the gridiron, see what happens, and just take that chance because like you may get one chance, and if you blow that opportunity, you may never get a chance again. I mean, perfect example is like Tom Brady when Bledsoe went down, he was ready to go, and the rest is history. So
And it's funny how now it's almost, you know, it's becoming like similar to professional sports because athletes are getting paid, and it's almost pay to play now. Um, with these collectives that these universities are they're creating these collectives
yeah,
where donors are just funding money into the collectives, and they're pretty much paying players. I mean, it's wild what, and I think it's gonna I think it's just gonna keep getting crazier and crazier. So it's wild how in the workforce, right? Let's say for someone like me, if I go right out of school and I try and get a telecommunications job at a big time company, um, they're going to want someone with experience rather than just a degree. And it's kind
totally.
of turning into the same thing with college sports and football is your experience is your tape, your resume,
Yeah,
right?
that's your res, your
And
portfolio.
like it's almost like someone who's coming out of high school is like me, someone who's coming out of college with no work experience in the communications um, you know, field. So I mean, it's like it's about experience. Not trying to say, you know, don't let me get to college, and I mean, but I think people that don't go to college, I think that they'll be fine too. It's about just getting experience. So
Yeah. I mean that's yeah, that's like the way to kind of just like build yourself up, build up your portfolio and showcase what you bring to the table. And like whether like you're an athlete or someone trying to find a job, like they want to see that you could do the work and do it at a high level. So yeah, man, you spoke nothing but facts on that. I guess now going to my last question, like you're going into your last chapter of college. Senior year is an absolute trip. So like what's like the one thing you want to do like heading into year four just to make it a memorable experience to kind of tie the knot on your college chapter?
I would say I want to go to every single event that the university puts on. Tradition wise, sporting events that I haven't gone to. I want to go to a softball game, go to a track meet. Where we just built a new crazy indoor track facility. That's, I think, probably one of the best in the country, if not the best. Our baseball team was in the World Series this year. We were
You
in
played
the
LSU, right?
what?
They played LSU,
No, we played Tennessee,
Vanderbilt. Oh yeah,
dude. So yeah, unfortunately, we took the L. We were up 1-0. It's a 3-game series, and we lost the last two.
yeah,
Super unfortunate, but baseball programs on the come up. So I went to a baseball game this year, but I want to, you know, just go to as many sporting events as I possibly can and just experience as much as I can as a student. I mean, I would say less. I mean, outside of being a student, you can go to sporting events. So just doing things on campus that I haven't done before, and really kind of dissecting my friendships as well, and figuring out who I want to stay connected with
Yeah.
and communication with post college, because I do truly believe that the 5 people you surround yourself with are the 5 people that you are, 5 people that
Yeah. It
you
shapes you into the man that you want to be.
yeah, and the man that you are. So I mean, yeah, just finding a good core group of people, and yeah. So
Absolutely, man. Yeah. Just check off that bucket list, bro. It goes by super fast. Like, yeah, just go to all those sporting events. Don't be like, if you don't feel like going out one night, just be like, nah, you know what, let me flip the script, go out with the fellas. Like, it goes by so fast. Like, it's crazy. Like, I feel like yesterday I was like just coming on to UW Madison's campus for the first time. You know what I mean? And you
yeah.
know, when you graduate, like it hasn't really hit me yet, but I feel like it's gonna hit me in like mid to late August when I'm supposed to go back.
Oh yeah, dude.
Like I'm gonna
That
be
that
like, wait, what am I doing? Like I should be booking my flight to O'Hare and then taking the bus up to Madison. Like, what am I doing?
yeah, that's gonna be a trip for sure. I mean, I haven't really even thought about that, and I don't really want to think about it because
Yeah,
I'm
no, live in the moment, live in the moment.
I'm one day at a time.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, one day at a time.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of great wisdom from you as always. An elite chop session. Just another
Appreciate
day
it.
in the office for us. Appreciate you for coming on the show today, man, and take care. Enjoy that last year.
Shout out Tom Brady, TB12.
Hey, shout out TB12.
Yeah, had to shout out TB12. But yeah, I appreciate you, Ish. It was a good chop sesh.
Always, bro.